All right. Well, good afternoon. My name is Alex Sereno. I'm the RMA Regional Director for the Raleigh Regional Office. The Raleigh Regional Office is the RMA office that serves the 14 states from North Carolina to Maine along the Atlantic seaboard in the Northeast. I'm a North Carolina native. I have a degree from NC State and another degree from Clemson. I actually went in reverse order. I went to Clemson for undergrad and I have a master's in economics from NC State. I've been with RMA since 2011. I've been the regional director since 2018, and I'm going to present a short overview of RMA and our activities in Connecticut, our programs we offer in Connecticut. And then at the end, I have an update on a new program that was offered for the first time in Connecticut in 2021, which is a fresh market tomato insurance program specifically designed for direct marketers. Yeah, I'm going to share my PowerPoint here. So slideshow. All right, and before I get carried away, Francis or Mary, are you guys seeing my slideshow?
Looks great.
All right, so this is a short overview of what RMA offers for crop insurance in Connecticut. And so just the background, if you're not familiar, the Risk Management Agency is the USDA agency that's responsible for administering the federal crop insurance program. Our mission statement is here on this slide, and I think that it's just important. We want to strengthen the economic stability of agricultural producers in rural communities through crop insurance. RMA has 3 divisions. There's insurance services. Those are the regional offices. We're the field. I work for insurance services. We work to make sure that insurance policies that are developed and sold benefit local farmers and local needs. So we're responsible here in Raleigh for making sure that crop insurance fits the needs of the Northeast. And so we want to have an open dialogue with producers or anybody that's interested in, how our policies can better serve an area. Connecticut is a particularly interesting state with a great diverse agricultural heritage. And so, we want to have that open dialogue. The other 2 divisions we have are product management. They're headquartered in Kansas City, Missouri. They're our policy development and our actuarial division, basically. So they make sure that they're cost effective, that they're actuarially sound. Things popped up on my screen, sorry. Then the last division is our compliance division. They safeguard the program by evaluating and investigating waste, fraud, and abuse. And we all 3 work together to try to provide the best program possible and also to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. And here's a map of our regional offices. See, we're number 10, that northeastern region. There's other regions across the country, and they all have their own unique agriculture and their own unique set of challenges and customers. But we are the area that serves the Northeast. So how does crop insurance work? If you're not familiar with the program, crop insurance is a public-private partnership. And so we have, I guess, the money for crop insurance. The federal program is the Federal Crop Insurance Corporation. That was established by the Federal Crop Insurance Act in the 1930s during the Dust Bowl. And RMA is the agency that manages that corporation. So we help the corporation has the money. We help develop the programs by which the money is used to insure crops. But for the delivery of the product, we have a private partnership. So we partner with approved insurance providers. We call them AIPs. So this year, I think there are about 15 different insurance companies. And what they do is that they sign an agreement. It's called a reinsurance agreement or the standard reinsurance agreement with RMA. And they agree to sell and service insurance policies abiding by our terms, our prices, and our rates. And so that is the private part of the public-private partnership. And then we provide them reinsurance. So we back them against extreme losses. Now, the approved insurance providers then work with agents. So the private crop insurance agents, they either work directly for the AIP or that are independent agents that work with different AIPs to sell the policies, and then the AIPs service the policies. So there's a little bit of distance in this graph between RMA and the producer, which is sometimes different for producers that are used to working with other USDA agencies like Farm Service Agency or Natural Resources Conservation Service, you guys can go in a service center and, you know, right then and there, you're provided service by a USDA employee. A crop insurance program doesn't work like that. We instead have private partners that provide that service. And so when you're looking for, you know, crop insurance, you've got to work with one of these AIPs and one of these agents. But these agents are you know, backed by us and work with us. It is a partnership. So here's a graph. I always think this is good. If you're not familiar with crop insurance, it's a really good way to think about crop insurance. It's a cycle. There's a circle. So there's sort of 4 main processes that go on all through a year. And then there's little subparts of each one. So the crop insurance cycle starts with the application process. So a producer applies for a policy. And so in the application process, you would have, you would make your application, or if you're a carryover insured, you would do your renewal. That has to be done by a sales closing date, and that's different for different commodities. In Connecticut, the primary sales closing dates are March 15th, which is when your spring planted crops are insured, and November 10th, or November 20th rather, which is when your perennial crops are, you know, that's the sales closing for those. So your policy dates are, you make an application by your sales closing date with the crop insurance agent, and then provided it's done correctly, you'll receive your acceptance and insurance attaches. And at that point, you're out of the application process and your coverage starts. Once your coverage starts, the first obligation that you have is to report your acreage. So you would, depending on the crop and the commodity, you have an acreage reporting date. It's designed to line up to be the same as the acreage reporting dates that the Farm Service Agency has for their programs. But you report your acreage to your crop insurance agent. And once your acreage is reported, you receive a document called a summary of coverage. This shows you what you've insured, how many acres, and how much it's going to cost, and you know, basically how much coverage you have. That can't be provided until after you report your acreage. And then along with the summary of coverage, you also will be billed for your premium. So what you owe as part of the program, you know, the producer paid part of the insurance policy will be charged at that time. And then in a bad situation, in a tough year, like what Connecticut producers here, actually, I think if I click through it, it will highlight it. Sorry. So you on to number 8. So in a tough year like what Connecticut producers experienced last year with all the rain and the tropical storms, if you have damage or loss, you know, you will, as soon as you have it, even if you haven't reported your acreage yet, immediately you will report to your crop insurance agent and let them know that, hey, my crop has been damaged. And then your insurance company will perform an inspection, and if there's enough damage, they'll provide, you know, they'll appraise the crop, and you may be doing indemnity. And meanwhile, while, you know, 1 through 10 are going on sort of on the private side of the public-private partnership, the date that we're thinking about at RMA is number 11 here, the contract change date. So every year before the, you know, before the sales closing date or before the offers are published that we have, pardon me, I'm mumbling. Before crop insurance offers can be sold in different states, RMA has to do a review. We make sure that the rates are actuarially sound, make sure that our dates are appropriate. And in some cases, we make sure that, you know, if a new crop needs to be offered, like the fresh market tomatoes we're going to talk about, we try to figure out how that can be done appropriately. So that little red arrow here in the corner is sort of what we're working on all year to try to make sure that for the next year, there's more insurance available and the appropriate insurance available. So anyway, here's a slide. I have a crop insurance agent that I know in Connecticut who last year, in I believe it was in July, you guys had some terrible flooding in the Connecticut River area. That I think some of these pictures might be in western Massachusetts also, but she sent me some pictures of some corn and some tobacco that had been flooded out. So what can crop insurance protect against? Well, if you have something like this happen to your farm, you know, crop insurance will, you know, be something that can protect you and indemnify you and keep you in business. Again, here's some tobacco that, you know, is looking in pretty rough shape. And then again, here's some more corn that looks completely flooded. So this is what crop insurance is there to protect you against. So the insured crops that are currently available in Connecticut, we insure apiculture, apples, corn, dairy cattle through our LGM program. I think you guys got a different presentation about it from one of my colleagues recently. Fresh market sweet corn, fresh market tomatoes, which is a new program I'm going to highlight in a couple slides. Grapes. There's also a brand new microfarm program. My slide says policy, but I just learned it actually is called the microfarm program. Another one of my colleagues is going to provide you guys with an update and some information on micro later this week, I believe. Milk, which is covered under the Dairy Revenue Protection Policy. Nursery, pasture, rangeland, and forage, which is a popular program for livestock producers. It protects for producers if there's a lack of rainfall on their pasture, rangeland, or forage land. Peaches, which was a major expansion in Connecticut in the last couple of years. We believe we insure peaches in every county in the state now. Potatoes, which I think we just insure in the Connecticut River area. Swine, also insured under the livestock gross margin. We insure the cigar tobacco that's grown in Connecticut, and we also offer whole farm revenue protection. And so looking at our book of business, our overall portfolio for the last 2 years in Connecticut, you can see it's around 19,000 acres insured annually. The liability had a big uptick from 2020 to 2021. My understanding of that is that the cigar tobacco market really improved, and there was a lot of demand for that to be grown here recently, and so there was a lot more cigar tobacco. The indemnity column, you can see last year, there was quite a bit more indemnity paid out than in 2020 due to the disasters, and I wouldn't be surprised with the way our computer system works. Claims don't come in, as soon as they're posted, but they have to be, filed and completed. So if producers are still waiting on indemnity, the numbers aren't final. So I could see that number going up considering all the tropical storms and disasters Connecticut producers faced last year. And the last two columns show the premium and the subsidy. And so when you look at the premium and the subsidy, the premium is the total premium associated with the coverage that Connecticut producers collectively had the last 2 years. But the subsidy is the amount of that premium that is actually paid by USDA. So, for example, in 2021, we charged almost $10 million in premium, but USDA paid $6.5 million in premium. So for the coverage, the producers only paid, about a third of what the actual price was. So this is a subsidized government program. We hope producers will participate, and we hope they'll have coverage if another year like last year happens. So this is our slide. And then, so this is sort of an overview, and I have a contact information on the last slide. But if you have any questions about crop insurance or any interest in any new policies that weren't covered, on this slide here, if there's something that we're missing the boat on, we're open to it. We have a specialty crop coordinator in our office. I can get you to him if you contact me. Anyway, this is the overall picture. So this is what we're really excited to talk about here, and this is our fresh market tomato expansion. So since 2018, when I became regional director, basically every time I go to the Northeast, I would give feedback from growers or extension or Farm Service Agency or whatever that, hey, we've got a lot of fresh market tomatoes up here. Why don't y'all have a program for them? Why don't y'all have a program? And so we dug in, and we have had fresh market tomato insurance available in different parts of in the Mid-Atlantic, particularly in Virginia and in Maryland and Pennsylvania for years. And we have, of course, they have it in Florida, and we said, well, why don't we have it up there? And so we said, well, there's a process by which if we don't have insurance available, you can request a written agreement. You can ask the regional office, hey, will you, approve an insurance policy sort of on a provisional year-to-year basis for me? I have a history of growing this crop. Well, we never received any written agreement. And so we dug into it, and basically the rub was that so many producers in the Northeast that make fresh market tomatoes are direct marketers. And previously, until 2021, our policy did not have any provisions to insure direct marketing tomatoes. So in 2021, we added fresh market tomato insurance in 2 counties in Connecticut, Hartford County and New Haven County. And written agreements using those 2 counties are available through the rest of the state and the rest of the Northeast. But the big change, what we're really excited about, is direct marketing is insurable. So we created some provisions whereby a direct market producer can insure a crop, his or her crop if it's direct marketed. What they have to do is before harvesting, 2 weeks before harvesting, or before starting harvest, what they need to do is let their insurance company know, hey, this acreage is going to be direct marketed. I'm going to harvest from it in 2 weeks. And the company will come out and do an appraisal. And basically, what we did is we created a procedure for the insurance companies to go out and estimate, based on the health of the tomato plants before harvest, what the yield in the area is going to be. We got a lot of great help from the University of Connecticut Extension on coming up with this direct marketing procedure. Right now, those two counties are the only counties in the entire country where direct market tomatoes are insurable. So we're really excited about this, and we hope that producers are able to take advantage of it. Another thing to note, in most of the country, to insure tomatoes, you have to have an irrigated mulch stake practice. And originally we had thought that would be appropriate for Connecticut, but the feedback we received is that mulching is done, but irrigation is not always done. A lot of producers rely on natural rainfall. And so irrigation and mulching are not required. All field-grown tomatoes can be insured under this program. And again, even if they're direct marketed. So we're really excited about this. This is a picture from our actuarial information browser, sort of showing you the offer for 2022 in Hartford County, and it's the same in New Haven County. The price that we're insuring the tomatoes at is $27.95 a carton. Our policy defines a carton as a 25-pound box. If you don't sell your product in cartons, there's procedures so that, if it's sold in pounds, that can be converted to cartons and vice versa. If you're an organic producer, you can also access insurance. And for organic producers, for certified organic, you can insure the product at up to $47.50 per carton. So that is what we're offering as far as the price. We hope it reflects the high value of Connecticut tomatoes, especially those that are direct marketed. The sales closing date for this product is March 15th. If you want to look at the actuarial information in depth, our link to our actuarial information browser is included on this slide. What the actuarial information browser is this a website that we have on the RMA website that allows you to look in your county or in your particular area and take a deep dive as to what the particular dates are for the program, what the rates are for the program, and it also contains a document called the Special Provisions of Insurance, which would contain any county-specific information that would be important. So, probably this is best delegated to your crop insurance agent, but if you're curious, the link is there. And we encourage you, contact the crop insurance agent for a quote. We have a link below to our RMA agent locator. And if you have any trouble with that or, are unable to work that, on this next slide is my contact information. And you can send me an email or give me a call, and I'll be happy to help you figure out how to work it. So anyway, thank you very much. This is our summary of what we've got going on in Connecticut in our fresh market tomato program expansion.
Thank you, Alex. That was great.
You're welcome. Did I stop sharing successfully?
Yeah, you did fine.
All right, great.
So Alex, this is Joe. Excellent job, and we'll record this and put it up on our website. Can farmers or growers reach out to you directly, or must they go through an insurance agent at this point, Alex?
So to sign up for the policy, they have to go through an insurance agent. We can't sign anybody up. We can't do anything. But if they've got questions, they can't get a hold of an agent, they can't work the agent locator, or they got any questions, they can reach out to me directly. Okay. So it's sort of, I can't sell them anything, but if they got any questions, I can point them in the right direction best I can.
Sometimes it's they like maybe to ask you, Alex, and before they go to an agent, just kind of get some general information. So if we can probably publicize or post your contact information, then we would appreciate that as well.
Absolutely, that would be fine.
And this is available then for the 2022 crop year, correct? So they can be signing up now for their 22 crop.
Yes, that's correct. So we offered it for the first time in the 21 crop year, but it's available going forward. And it's a program county in those two counties, which means they don't need to do a written agreement. but tomato producers that are in other counties in the state can access the insurance. What they need to do is work with an agent to request a written agreement, and they can have the same terms as the producers in Hartford County or New Haven. The reason we put it in 2 counties and not the whole state is we just didn't have enough data to support putting it in the whole state. So those 2 counties were where we were able to ascertain the most tomatoes. And I think, Joe, you and Mary helped us with the peaches. Sometimes it's hard for us to find the data. So if there's another area where we're missing the mark, we're open to expansion. We just basically are just going to need data and some help on that.
Okay. Well, if you need data, if you folks in RMA need data, you can feel free to reach out to us, and we'll try to get you the right person to get the variety of information you need to help our farmers and growers here in Connecticut.
You guys have before you. I know you will. So thank you. You certainly will.
Any more thoughts, Mary?
No, I thought it covered it really well. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, very, very much. Mary Stack will be on our program on I believe on Thursday. So sounds good. And again, thank you, Alex. The best to you and your family. Stay safe. And hopefully the warming trend from you is going to come up to us, because we need some warmer weather at this point. I'm ready.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. Well, thank you, guys. Take care.
So long.